Well, I need to talk about longevity today. That seems to be on everybody's mind. And we're going to talk about the top 20 longevity cultures. And of course, you want to get a hold of the book Epigenetics, The Death of the Genetic Theory of Disease Transmission, the book Rare Earth Forbidden Cures, and the book Immortality. And these three books together are going to give you the total known wisdom on what it takes to maximize your genetic potential for longevity and for health. When you look at the top 20 longevity cultures, they're called in the blue zones. This is a guy by the name of Buechner, who is the author of many articles for the National Geographic. His latest one was in May of 2013, cover article. We had a picture of a little 2-year-old girl from the Nicoyan Peninsula in Costa Rica and Central America that said, this child will live to be 120 years of age. That's quite true. They're the longest lived people in the Western Hemisphere. So what is it? What is the common threads that allow the top 20 longevity cultures to live well beyond the age of everybody else? They have 40 times the 100 the Americans do. They have 100 per 250 their population. We have 100 per 10,000. But they're very disparate cultures. In other words, they have no relationship to each other genetically. They're from Africa. They're from Asia. They're from Europe. They're from North America. They're from South America. And so what is it? What is it that's their common threads? There's actually 23 common threads, and of course, you'll find them again in the book Epigenetics, The Death of the Genetic Theory of Disease Transmission, Rare Earth Forbidden Cures, and Immortality. I'll give you some of them, and you can read the others, but you get the idea that these people get the 90 cents of nutrients. Number one, they get the 90 cents of nutrients, and it's by dumb luck. They don't know the science. They're all illiterate. They are from third world cultures. They have no modern facilities. We're talking about no roads, no cars, absolutely no utilities. They have no private or government insurance. They have no doctors, no clinics, no hospitals, no emergency services. Yet they have 40 times the 100 else we do. Well, part of the thing that these experts overlook, because they're scratching their head and they can't find the common thread. They've looked and they've looked and they've looked and they can't find the common thread. The common thread is the 90 cents of nutrients. Number one, they all live in a place that has no electricity. And what do they use for fuel? They use wood, and of course wood sucks up minerals out of the ground. And when you burn the wood for fuel, for either cooking or heating or whatever they do, burning for light at night, there's a powder that's left over. They're called wood ashes, but they're not really wood ashes. The powder that's left over when you burn wood for fuel are minerals that the tree sucks up out of the ground. And then, of course, they throw these plant minerals, a.k.a. wood ashes, into the garden and the corn and the tomatoes and the sweet potatoes and onions and beans and peas and squash and corn, tomatoes, whatever is grown there, sucks up all these minerals up. For thousands and thousands and thousands of years, we've used this as our mineral supplement. Well, if you only get 3 minerals, which makes the plants happy, you're going to die young. If you happen to get 25 or 30 minerals, you're going to die kind of like 50, 60, 70. If you get all 60 minerals plus the other nutrients, you're going to be one of these long-lived people. And it's just by dumb luck. They didn't know about analyzing the soil and all that kind of stuff. And so it's dumb luck that they happened to be in a place that had more than 60 minerals in it, the essential minerals. Well, because they're getting these minerals, they're able to maximize their longevity, their health, their disease resistance, wisdom, and this is maximizing their genetic potential. You have to give your genes, your DNA, and your RNA all the raw materials to accomplish this. Just because you have good genes doesn't mean you're going to make it, unless you're giving your good genes everything they need to get you where you want to go. Okay? So again, the book Epigenetics, The Death of the Genetic Theory of Disease Transmission, Rare Earth Forbidden Cures, and Immortality. These are books, after you read them, you will know for sure that you need a supplement. You cannot get these nutrition out of your food anymore. We dammed up the rivers. We went to electricity. And when you went to electricity, you didn't have the wood ashes anymore to put in the garden, so you lost that traditional source of nutritional minerals. We dammed up the rivers to make electricity with hydroelectric dams. And then, of course, it didn't flood in the fields anymore, so there was no more silt every spring, which brought minerals in from mountains hundreds or maybe even thousands of miles away, which the farmers plowed in. Of course, the most fertile, most expensive farmlands all over the world were floodplains, because they were renewed naturally. Well, we dammed up the rivers, no more floods anymore, so after 25 years of growing crops in there, no more minerals in the soil, no more wood ashes, no more minerals there. And so we had to go to artificial fertilizer, because even the plants wouldn't grow. We went to artificial fertilizer, and then, of course, we got dust bowls, we got the Great Depression, all that kind of stuff. All over the world, this is happening now because they're running out of they get the modernization, they get electricity, they don't have renewal of the soils every year and have to go to artificial fertilizers, and things begin to break down. That's where we're at. The only way to get it done is to supplement with the 90 cents nutrients. The 90 cents nutrients. Longevity is 90 cents nutrients, the 90 essentials for life, the 90 for life program, 16 minerals, 16 vitamins, 12 essential amino acids, 3 essential fatty acids. This is the best investment you can give yourself and your family, people you love. We have the capacity to make your church type 2 diabetes free in a couple of months. We have the capacity to make your church arthritis free in a couple of months. We have your church to be high blood pressure free in a couple of months. We have the capacity to get everybody who's on dialysis off of dialysis. This is not difficult. You just need the 90 cents nutrients to maximize your genetic potential for health and longevity. We'll be back with Dead Doctors Don't Lie for these minutes. Okay, Doug, what pearls of wisdom do you have for us?
Well, when I read this article, the old phrase kept running through the back of my mind, we're from the government, we're here to help. And this is a CNN story that the headline reads, "Is the U.S. ready for pandemic? Investigation says we're ill-prepared." Somewhere in the Department of Homeland Security warehouses, there are thousands of doses of antiviral medications about to expire. Another warehouse stores thousands of expired respirators. The equipment and medicine was supposed to help protect government personnel in the event of a deadly pandemic. The federal investigation found that the DHS is, quote, totally ill-prepared for something like an 09 H1N1 influenza pandemic, or something worse, such as a global Ebola outbreak or the 1918 flu pandemic that killed 21.5 million plus. And this all coming from the Office of the Inspector General. And they say in 2006, Congress gave the DHS $47 million to prepare for such a case. And the department did go out and spend that money, but they spent millions on equipment that might now be completely worthless, missing, or unnecessary. The audit found more than 4,000 bottles of expired hand sanitizer in storage that had been expired for up to 4 years. 81% of their antiviral drugs will expire by the end of next year. 100% of the Tamiflu is set to expire by 2015. 46% of the Relenza DHS has will expire. And also it's unclear to investigators whether the antiviral medication had been stored at a proper temperature, so it might all have gone bad. They say also in their stockpile are 350,000 white coverall suits. They say there's no justification or related documentation available to support that number of suits, nor does any kind of documentation explain why they were necessary. And they go on to say the same is true for surgical masks. There are some 16 million in their inventory. Then in another warehouse, they found another 250,000 of these surgical masks. The report concluded the DHS prepared to continue mission-essential operations could a pandemic occur. It found the DHS did not develop a clear plan on how to replenish their stockpiles or equipment, nor did they have any good way to keep good control over the inventory to monitor expiration dates on material. And they say they failed to keep good records on what they purchased, whether they received it or not. And so it's a typical case of the government dropping the ball and leaving us hanging here. And, the whole thing, as I read this, Doc, I thought of your book, God Bless America. I think we'd be better suited to use that as a guideline.
You're absolutely right. The book gets the PureWorks hand and skin sanitizer, the antimicrobial soap from PureWorks, lotions, sprays, foams, our colloidal silver, flu buster. These sort of things will put you in good stead. The Killer Biotic, get the 90 stored up, 3-month supply for each person in the house. The Go Foods, 25-year shelf life. You need to be prepared to get to these cases. I think they have 35 bottles of water in from these discounts are like 17 cents a bottle. And, of course, we have the water drops from the Harmony Water Division here of Longevity. That you can get some coffee filters, paper coffee filters, and strain the big pieces out of the water out of the ditch on the side when it rains, and then use the Harmony water drops and a couple of drops of our colloidal silver, and you'll be able to keep ahead of the curve here. You don't have to worry about it. Everybody's been to the grocery store before you and took everything off the shelves. But you do need to be prepared, and you're exactly right. Every family needs to have that book, God Bless America. Every family needs to have a 3-month supply for each person. Look at all the wildfires, earthquakes, hurricanes, storms, invasions from aliens from space and from south of the border. Who knows what's going on here? Thank you, Doug. We'll be back with more Truth, Justice, Doctors Don't Lie.
Let's head to Pennsylvania. And Jan, you're on with Dr. Wallach.
Well, Jan, you're on the air.
Okay, hello, Dr. Wallach. I thank you so much for what you do. I just love it.
Thank you. How can I help you today?
I have a good progress report. I called in June about my 86-year-old dad that's in a nursing home, and he had no appetite. His weight was 105, and it formerly had been, in the 120s. After 1 week of longevity products, his appetite really kicked in. He'd been taking a drug called Megace for about 6 weeks, and it hadn't done anything for him at all to increase his appetite. 7 days after he got started on longevity, he got this ravenous appetite and put on the weight, which helped him to start getting his muscle. He started to get strength back.
Yeah.
He talks mostly in whole sentences now. He's much more coherent. He couldn't move his torso on his own, but now if he braces himself, he can stand up on his own from a sitting position. He could only walk 50 steps before. Now he's over 100 with a walker, and his hands don't shake as much.
Well, fabulous. That is a fabulous progress report. And the fact that an 86-year-old man has that much recovery power, isn't that great?
Yes. I mean, he looked hopeless, and honestly, some of my relatives were telling each other to get in there because they thought, and he looked like a bag of bones with skin on him. He looked so bad. They thought he was going to die, and I just didn't. We did pray for him every day, too.
Prayer is a nutrient.
I'm sorry, what was that?
I said prayer is a good nutrient.
Yes, it is. We just used everything. But I'm calling now about a few other things that he has that we still need to work on.
Okay.
He has 2 edema issues. His feet and ankles are swollen. The feet are kind of a dark purplish in color. And I think you told me once to give him Ultimate Daily. They're big for him. He won't chew them. So I figured maybe I could break them up, kind of grind them up and put them in.
Grind them up, put them in some applesauce and give it to him. As far as the edema, make sure he's eating 4 to 6 eggs a day, soft boiled, soft poached, or soft scrambled butter. Then call me in 2 weeks. Okay, Doug, we need to go right back to Pennsylvania. And Jan, second question.
Okay. My dad is taking a few drugs, and I didn't know if I need to mention to those to see if it's okay if he has Ultimate Daily when he takes those.
Okay. What drugs is he taking?
A finasteride, cardizem, Hiprex, and folic acid.
Okay, what was the first one?
Finasteride.
Okay, you have to tell me what they use that one for. I'm not familiar with it.
That one, he has a permanent catheter, and he takes that for, I don't know exactly what that is, but it has to do with enlarged prostate.
Okay, now they won't interfere. No problem.
Okay, great. And then they have him on oxygen. I didn't know what I could do to help his oxygen.
Well, the Ultimate Daily tablets are going to help him with the oxygen part, so just keep going.
Okay. And he has little control over his bowel.
Okay, well, that can be a back problem. That can be a brain problem. And so let's make sure he's gluten-free. Eating gluten can make it difficult for an older person or even a little kid to have control of their bowels. They say, I've got urgency here, and before they make it to the bathroom, they will mess their pants. Okay, so oftentimes it can be a gluten intolerance, a back problem, degenerative disc disease, or the vertebrae are squeezing, the roots and nerves control the colon, the bladder, all that kind of stuff. And so, we're kind of on the right track on all those places. Just make sure he's gluten-free, okay?
Okay.
Thank you so much. You bet. Good job. Okay, Doug, let's go to callers.
Well, let's head to California. And Anna, you're on with Dr. Wallach.
Well, Anna, you're on the air.
Hi, Dr. Wallach. Thank you for taking my call. Approximately 4 years ago, my daughter had an ACL knee surgery, and she continued to have pain after the surgery, and so the doctor did an X-ray, found there was a foreign body in there, and so, you know...
Foreign body. We're talking about an instrument they left in there? We're talking about a sponge?
I don't think it was an instrument, and I think it was more like I don't remember what she told me, like if it was a pin or a clip or something along those lines. So, you know, she was doing physical therapy and, you know, so forth and so on. So,
did they remove it?
Yeah, eventually they went in and did a second surgery. Okay. So she's had the second surgery, but then...
Wait a minute. How does somebody get a clip in their knee?
I don't know exactly what it was, but it was something that they went in the second surgery and they took it out. Whatever it was supposed to be in there.
Yeah,
okay. Well, then...
Stop. Did they show it to you?
No, I didn't see it. I'm in a different state than she is.
Yeah, well, the point that I'm getting here, a clip they can use to hold towels to the knee to keep the surgical zone clean. And so it could have been one of those things that fell in there and they didn't count them and all that kind of stuff. Okay, it could be one of those things where, you know, they left a piece of some surgical equipment or instrument in there. How do you get a clip inside your knee? And that doesn't sound right. So listen, we got to run to one of those message moments here, so hang on, and we'll be able to answer your questions on your daughter's ACL. I need to know how much she weighs, and how old she is and all that kind of stuff. We'll be back after these messages. Okay, Doug, we're going right back to California and Anna. Okay, how old is your daughter, Anna?
She's 32. She weighs about 135 pounds. Okay. So what happened after the second surgery is she's had pain off and on, and now they're saying that it's scar tissue, and she'll have excruciating pain that she can't even sleep at night. And they did give her, I don't know what it's called, but it was some kind of a shot that was supposed to either, help to create a cushion or coat something or whatever, and it lasted 2 weeks. The pain was gone for about 2 weeks, and then it was back. And so now they want to do a third surgery and remove the scar tissue. And I said to her, just wait. Let me see if I can get a hold of Dr. Wallach and see what he would suggest.
Well, thank you. Yeah, actually, I work a lot with Navy SEALs, Special Forces. I work a lot with professional athletes, Olympic athletes, university athletes, people who have high-impact jobs and everything. And we see a lot of this kind of stuff. And 135 pounds, what I would do is give your daughter one of the Healthy Bone and Joint Packs per month. I'd get her an extra bottle of the OsteoFX Plus and an extra bottle of Glucogel. And that will allow her to have 1 ounce of the OsteoFX Plus at breakfast and dinner, 1 scoop of the Beyond Tangerine NutriCrystals at breakfast and dinner, the 3 EFA Plus she could divide up for the day, 1 at breakfast, 2 at dinner, and then 15 Glucogel a day, 5 at breakfast, 5 at lunch, 5 at dinner. All that would be accomplished by the 1 Healthy Bone and Joint Pack, the extra bottle of Osteo, and the extra bottle of Glucogel. Now, I also want her to have 2 bottles a month of what we call Bone Builder. I want her to take 3 Bone Builder capsules at breakfast and 3 Bone Builders at dinner time. That will require 2 bottles a month. That's going to come at supporting and promoting maintenance, repair of cartilage, meniscus, tendons, ligaments, connective tissue from a different direction. And so we're going to come at this in 3 different directions. That 1 Healthy Bone and Joint Pack, you're going to get a wide mouth jar full of CM cream, which you can apply to that knee. And she'll find that within 10 minutes, she's going to get significant total pain relief for about 3 to 5 hours. And if she finds it really works for her, she should go ahead and order. Probably it'll take her 2 a month to meet her needs for about 2 to 3 months until it takes the 90 days to rebuild everything. Then it would also help her get more circulation in that knee. When she's taking her showers, make sure she spends about 10 minutes in there at least once, maybe even twice a day with the hot water beaten down on that knee. And that'll be very, very useful to get circulation going through that knee. And then we do have a cream, the CM cream, which we talked about, but we also have a capsule called CM Plus capsules. And she could take 1 or 2 bottles of that a month, and that will give her a general anti-inflammatory, analgesic, pain reliever. And she can take those capsules 3 to twice a day, and that's going to give her a global pain relief and anti-inflammatory property for the entire day. And so those are, of course, those capsules are options, but I think they'll be useful for her. So call me every couple of weeks. We'll walk you through this. I believe we can do this without surgery because I do it a lot with people who have injuries from trauma. We're talking about explosions, bullets, fragments, shrapnel, fires, firemen, all this kind of stuff. Also from high-impact things, car wrecks, sports figures, both Olympic, professional, university, high school, etc. So this works. We've been doing it for 36 years, and I believe it'll work for your daughter also. Give us a call every 2 weeks and let us know how it's doing. If you have any questions, call anytime. Okay, Doug, let's go to callers.
Let's head to Missouri. And Sandy, you're on with Dr. Wallach.
Well, Sandy, you're on the air.
Yes, Dr. Wallach. I have a friend who is 193 pounds, weighs 50, is 50 years old, and she had lupus. And she's been on the Healthy Start Pack for quite some time, and she doesn't have any signs of lupus at this point. But she's been what's been going on lately is she will kind of, she calls it, she just kind of fades out for a couple of seconds, and she's not really sure what's going on. She went to the hospital and got an EEG, and they don't find anything wrong at all.
Okay. Well, wait a minute. One of the things that can cause that sort of going away thing is low blood sugar. Okay? And so, 193 pounds, I want her to have, particularly with a history of lupus, I want her to get on a gluten-free diet. Absolutely drop-dead gluten-free. No gluten for her. And that means, also the dog, the cat, the bird, the fish, man, mother-in-law, kids, everybody in the household has got to be gluten-free. No wheat, barley, rye, oats, no fried food, no processed meats, no oils. When you have lupus, you actually have a serious gluten intolerance. And people get all kinds of variety of extra stuff because they can't absorb nutrients very well. You get gluten-free, that's going to help her immensely. But also, because she has this history of this going away thing, if she's only using the Healthy Start Pack, it would also get her 2 bottles of the glucogel a day, so she could take 5 3 times a day. It would be 5 at breakfast, 5 at lunch, 5 at dinner. I'd also get her 2 bottles of Ultimate Selenium per month, so she can have 3 at breakfast, 3 at dinner. That's going to help with the muscles and ligaments and tendons and all that kind of stuff. But also want her to, let's see here. You have her get the Smart FX, okay? She can take 3 of those twice a day. She also, I did not say it, she needs to get the Sweeties. Okay, she needs 3 Sweeties twice a day. That'll be 2 bottles a month. That's going to help support and promote healthy blood sugar levels. It's also going to help her support and promote healthy metabolism of sugar and carbohydrates and fats and proteins at the cellular level. Make sure that her snacks are hard-boiled eggs, nuts, but she's got to watch it. Got to read the label. They cannot be bulk nuts unless they're in shells. If they're still in the shell, that's the way to get it. You're guaranteed they're gluten-free. If you get a bag of nuts, it can say, guaranteed certified organic, gluten-free, naturally gluten-free. And then you roll it over and you look at the back on the allergy information. It says these nuts are processed on machinery that also processes soy and wheat. That wheat flour, that is the dust inside that bag. So you got to really read labels very, very critically on both sides. And it wouldn't hurt for her to hear the CD called Serial Killers. It goes into all the hidden places you're going to find gluten. But lupus usually goes away very quickly. It is a result of a gluten intolerance, and that's why they have that butterfly rash on their face. It's a form of eczema or rosacea. So how tall is she, do you think?
She's 6'7".
6'7"?
Uh-huh.
Oh, she's a tall basketball player girl. Ooh, 6'7". All right. Well, let's go that direction. And then give me a call every couple of weeks. I want to know her blood pressure. I want to know her weight. I want to know her blood sugar. She's going to have to run to the pharmacy and get blood sugar stuff. I want to know what her blood sugar is. We'll be back with more Truth, Justice, and the Longevity Way on Dead Doctors Don't Lie for these messages. Dead Doctors Don't Lie on the ZBS Radio Network. Dr. Joel Wallach here for Youngevity and the 90 for Life Crusade. And Doug, let's go to callers.
Let's head to Idaho. And Eldora, you're on with Dr. Wallach.
Eldora, you're here.
Yes, thank you, Dr. Wallach, very much. I have a couple of questions. The first one has to do with estrogen and iodine. My body has a tendency to store fat right on the outer areas of my thighs that bulge out like a V. A girlfriend described that to me that way. And was told that it's because of having too much estrogen and not enough iodine in my system. Can you give me guidance on that?
Well, how much do you weigh?
I'm 140 pounds.
And how tall are you?
5'3".
Okay. And let's see here. Do you have any other issues? Do you have any skin problems, dry skin in the back of your arms or thighs? Do you have any eczema?
Yes, dry skin.
Dry skin, okay. Did you ever have asthma as a kid, anything like that?
No.
Okay, did you ever have constipation or diarrhea?
No, but I have had IBS for the past couple of decades.
Okay, there you go. If you've had IBS, irritable bowel syndrome, you have a gluten intolerance. Okay, that's a bingo. You have a gluten intolerance, so your goal here to solve your problem, you're going to have to get rid of all the gluten out of your life. No fried foods, absolutely no processed meats or nitrates and nitrites, no oils, no gluten. That means no wheat, barley, rye, or oats. There's no oatmeal that has gluten-free, no matter what they say. You got to give up all that stuff. And we actually have a CD called Serial Killers that goes into all the hidden places you're going to find gluten, including dog food, cat food, bird food, fish food, all that. You got to get rid of the ones that contain grains because of all the gluten. And then the supplement program, 140 pounds, and I would have you take. You're right on that cusp here. Let's be a little heavy-handed. I'd have you take 2 of the Healthy Brain and Heart packs per month. That'll be 3 of the selenium at breakfast and dinner, 1 ounce of the OsteoFX Plus at breakfast and dinner, 2 scoops of the Anti-Changery 2.0 NutriCrystals at breakfast and dinner, 3 of the EFA Pluses at breakfast and dinner, 3 of the EFAs at breakfast and dinner. All that'll be accomplished for the 2 Healthy Brain and Heart packs per month. But then I would also throw in, because you have, as it's said, to have a deficiency of iodine, so maybe some low thyroid problems, I would take 3 tablets twice a day of our Ocean's Gold. That'll be 2 bottles a month. That's going to give your thyroid gland really a lot of the stuff it's looking for. And lastly, what I want you to do is take the ASAP. ASAP. We take a dropper full under your tongue 30 minutes before each meal. That'll be 1 bottle a month. Not a drop, but a dropper full under your tongue 30 minutes before each meal. It might take a minute or so, but you want to let it absorb to your oral tissues. Do not swallow it because you won't get the maximum benefit. At 5'3", I'd like to see you weigh 110, 115 pounds. Okay? And so you need to lose maybe 20 pounds or so, 20, 25 pounds. And that's going to help you do that. And the poundage you're going to lose is come off your tummy and your hips. And so let's do all this. And then I want you to call me every 2 weeks. And I want to know your weight. I want to know your measurements. I want you to actually measure yourself around your hips. So even if you're losing a half a centimeter, which is, 10, 12 centimeters, not centimeters, millimeters, 10, 12 millimeters, I want to know that. That's because we're going to be going in the right direction. And so you can actually lay on the floor on your side, do leg lifts when you're laying on your side, and so you kind of work those hip muscles a little bit. And you can do that 2-3 times a day, say for 10 minutes, and that's going to help snug up those muscles in your hip area. And give us a call, like I say, every 2 weeks. I want to know your weight. I want to know the measurements around your hips, like you'd be taking measurements for a dress. And then call us every 2 weeks. You're going to do fine. Well, thank you, everybody. Really great testimonies and questions today. Thank you so much, Doug and Richard. Superlative job as usual. God bless each and every one of you. God bless our troops. God bless our Navy SEALs. And God bless America.